They say with age comes wisdom, but too often, with age also comes silence. If you're over 60, living in a world that constantly tells you to be polite, to be agreeable, to not make a fuss, then this message is for you. Today, we're talking about something simple but powerful, the word no, and why saying it more often might just be the key to reclaiming your time, your energy, and your peace of mind. Let me ask you something right from the start. When was the last time you said yes to something you didn't want to do? Was it a family favor you were too tired for? A social event you didn't care to attend? Or maybe a request that tugged at your guilt even though you knew it wasn't right for you? Tell me in the comments. When was the last time you wished you had said no? Because you're not alone, and this video might just open your eyes. Before we dive into why learning to say no more often is one of the smartest decisions you can make at this stage in life, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button so you never miss a message like this one. Your voice matters. Your choices matter. Let's explore why no might be the most powerful word in your vocabulary from here on out. Let me tell you a story about James. He's 72, a retired firefighter from Ohio. Strong-willed, sharp as a tack, but like many of us, raised in a time where helping others was a virtue you didn't question. A few years ago, James's son asked him to watch the grandkids every weekday afternoon. At first, James said yes, of course. He loved his grandkids, and he wanted to be there. But as weeks turned into months, he found himself exhausted. He missed his walks. He skipped his weekly veterans meetups. And soon, he noticed something heavier, a quiet resentment building. He felt guilty for even feeling that way. But one day, his doctor said something that hit hard. James, stress at your age doesn't just feel bad. It takes years off your life. That's when James finally said no. Not because he didn't care, but because he realized saying no to others was saying yes to himself. Now he watches the kids once a week. He's back to walking, back to smiling, back to living. Can you relate to James? Have you ever said yes too often out of guilt, only to feel drained later? Leave a comment and share your story. We're building a space here where honesty is welcomed and respected. And if you haven't already, hit that like button so this message can reach more folks like James. Because saying no doesn't make you selfish. It makes you wise. It means you've learned the value of your time, your health, your peace. And that's a lesson too many learn too late. Imagine this. It's a quiet Sunday morning. You're sitting in your favorite chair, the coffee is hot, the paper's on your lap, the birds are singing outside. Then the phone rings. It's your neighbor asking for just a little help moving some furniture. You don't want to do it. Your back's been acting up. You've had a long week. But the words come out anyway. Sure, I can help. Now the coffee gets cold. The paper goes unread. And your quiet Sunday morning? Gone. How many times has a simple yes stolen your peace? How many quiet mornings, restful afternoons, or needed breaks have vanished because someone else's needs seemed more important than your own? You see, when we say yes to things that drain us, we're not just giving up time. We're giving away parts of ourselves that we may never get back. Now flip the scene. Same morning, same chair, same coffee. The phone rings. But this time you pause, you breathe, and you say, "I'm sorry, I can't today." You hang up. You feel a twinge of guilt, but then you exhale. You sip your coffee while it's still warm. You finish the crossword. And for once, your day belongs to you. Tell me in the comments, which version of that day feels more familiar? And more importantly, which one do you want more of in your life? Don't forget to subscribe if this is striking a chord. We're just getting started, and these conversations matter more than ever. Because every time you say no to something that doesn't serve you, you're saying yes to a life with fewer regrets. Let's talk numbers, because sometimes the truth hits hardest when it's measured. A study by the American Psychological Association found that over 60% of seniors reported feeling overwhelmed by obligations they didn't actually want to accept. Even more striking, 1 in 3 said they often agreed to requests purely out of guilt or fear of disappointing others. Now think about that. We're talking about millions of older adults, people who have earned their rest, their time, their voice still saying yes when every fiber of their being wants to say no. It's not just inconvenient, it's dangerous. Chronic stress caused by people-pleasing has been directly linked to higher rates of high blood pressure, weakened immune systems, and even faster cognitive decline in older adults. That's not an exaggeration, it's science. Your body pays the price for your silence. And no, this doesn't mean becoming cold or selfish. It means becoming honest. With yourself, with your loved ones, with your limits. So here's what I want to ask you. When was the last time you said yes and your health paid the price? Drop it in the comments. We need to talk about these things openly. Because if this video helps even one person say no to what's hurting them and yes to their well-being, then we've done something good today. And if you haven't already, go ahead and like this video. It helps push these hard truths into more people's lives. The numbers don't lie, but neither does your gut. Listen to both. Have you ever wondered why it feels so hard to say no, even when we know we should? There's a reason, and it's not weakness. It's wiring. Psychologists call it the social approval instinct. From a young age, we're conditioned to please others, especially those closest to us. We associate no with rejection, conflict, or being seen as unkind. And that conditioning doesn't just disappear as we age. In fact, for many older adults, it gets stronger. Why? Because we start to feel like we owe the world something. Owe our kids support. Owe our friends our time. Owe society our patience. But here's the truth. You don't owe anyone your peace. The brain's fear of saying no activates the same stress centers as physical danger. That's why your heart races, your stomach turns, and you feel guilty, even when you know you're right to refuse. But there's good news. That same brain is capable of unlearning. It starts with tiny changes. Practicing short refusals in low-stakes situations. Learning to pause before you answer. Replacing guilt with truth. I'm not up for that right now, and that's okay. Because every time you say no and survive it, your brain learns that it's safe. And soon, it gets easier. Let's talk. What's the hardest kind of request for you to turn down? A family ask? A friend in need? A community favor? Share it in the comments. Your experience might help someone else find their voice too. And if this part of the video opened your eyes, hit that subscribe button. You're not weak for struggling to say no. You're human. And with a little practice, you can retrain that instinct into something far more powerful, self-respect. Let's look at two different lives. Same person, same age, two completely different outcomes. In the first version, Evelyn is 68, a warm-hearted woman, known in her neighborhood as someone who always says yes. Need help organizing the church bake sale? Evelyn's there. Last-minute babysitting? She'll cancel her dentist appointment. Hosting the family reunion again this year? She won't even question it. At first, people admire her. They call her generous, selfless. But year after year, Evelyn begins to fade. She skips checkups. She loses touch with her old friends. She starts resenting the very people she once loved to help. By 75, she's burnt out. Not because she wasn't strong, but because she never protected herself. Now, the second version. Same Evelyn, same heart. But this time, she's learned to set boundaries. She helps when she can, but she also says, I'm not available this week, without guilt. She rests when she needs to. She travels. She reads. She has space to breathe. And the people around her? They respect her more, not less. Because she's not giving from an empty well. She's giving from overflow. Now I ask you, which Evelyn are you right now? More importantly, which one do you want to become? Leave a comment and let's reflect together. You see, the power of no isn't in the rejection, it's in the protection. And every time you say no to something that doesn't align with your values, your health, or your happiness, you're choosing a better version of your life. If this spoke to you, give the video a like, and don't forget to subscribe. Because this message isn't just for Evelyn. It's for every single one of us. You've lived long enough to know that time is precious. You've earned your wisdom the hard way, through joy, through pain, through years of showing up for others. But now, maybe it's time to start showing up for yourself. Saying no doesn't mean you're unkind. It means you know your worth. It means you've stopped measuring your value by how much you can give and started protecting what you still have left to live. The truth is, every no makes space for a better yes. Yes to health. Yes to peace. Yes to moments that matter. So here's my challenge to you. This week, say no, just once, to something that doesn't serve you. See how it feels. Then come back here and tell us in the comments how it went. Let's hold each other accountable. Because this isn't just a video, it's a community. And if this message found you at the right moment, subscribe. Share this with someone who needs the courage to choose themselves. You've said yes your whole life. Now it's time to say no. And mean it.